But right now, we're cooking up something very, very special for you.
All right, to make an authentic, traditional Irish meal this weekend, you could start with seafood or maybe a little black pudding.
But nothing says St. Patrick's Day for Irish Americans more than corned beef and cabbage.
So Joy stopped by the Spartan Culinary Classroom for a little bit of a lesson.
This weekend is one of my favorite holidays. It's St. Patrick's Day, and you can't get much more Irish than I am. So we're stepping into the Spartan Culinary Classroom today with Amy. You're going to tell us about how to make a fabulous Irish feast.
This is a great traditional Irish feast, at least traditional if you're American Irish, because actually in Ireland, this isn't quite as popular as you'd think it would be. But corned beef kind of originated in Cork City, which is one of the most famous cities in Ireland. And they did it as a way to preserve the beef, because they would maybe slaughter their animals in the fall and then they have to keep them all through the winter. And so by corning the beef, which is preserving it in a salt brine solution, it could stay throughout the winter and then it would be ready to be eaten whenever they wanted it. And traditionally they would serve the corned beef with the first cabbage of the spring. So kind of right around now, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Right around now, it's St. Patrick's Day. So why don't we get started? Tell us how we make a beautiful dinner out of this piece of meat.
So this is a piece of beef that's already been corned, and traditionally corned beef comes from the brisket cut, which is always benefits from a long, slow cook because it's a little bit of a tougher piece of meat. So this is a flat cut brisket that you can get right here at Spartan Stores. It's already corned and it's ready to cook. So I just take it out of the package and I rinse it off. And I actually get rid of the spice package that comes with it. You don't need that. You can just use your own spices and make it your own way. So I rinsed it all off. It's all ready to go. And we can just stick it right into a nice big pot. Definitely put it in a big pot. So it goes in there and we can turn this on. Now, traditionally, too, a lot of recipes, or the way maybe your mom made it, would be just to add water and to boil it, and we would call it boiled dinner, right?
Right.
And you probably have had a lot of boiled dinner if you're Irish.
Definitely have had a lot of boiled dinner.
Right. Well, I like to put water in it, but then because I'm such a fan of beer, I like to put a little bit of the traditional stout in there, and you could certainly go with a Beamish or a Guinness, or you can get one of the amazing Michigan beers that we have here, and there's some fabulous stouts that are made right here in Grand Rapids that you could try.
A dark beer really adds great flavor.
Yes. Nothing too hoppy. If you get like an IPA or something, then your food is going to taste a little bit bitter, and you don't want to do that. And then we're going to add, like I said, our own spices. So we have a little bit of dried mustard, and that would be very traditional.
Mustard is a terrific flavor with that corned beef.
It sets it off nicely. It's such a kind of bland dish that you got to add a little bit of stuff. And then some dried thyme. So we can just shake some of that in there. And then some fresh ground pepper. And you certainly don't need to add any more salt to this dish because it's been soaking in salt for several months. So don't add any more salt because it'll be way too salty.
And I like the tip about rinsing the meat too, because that takes away some of that additional salt.
It does. And any kind of off flavors that come from being in a package for a long time, it will get rid of all of that. And then we add some onions, and you can just halve them or quarter them, so it's really easy and fast.
Any special onion?
Nope, doesn't matter, whatever you can find. Traditionally, you probably use a white onion, not a red. And then what I do is I let this go. I let this cook at kind of a slow boil. You don't need it to be a super hard boil, but you let it go for about an hour. I don't like my vegetables to be really mushy. I want them to have a little bit of texture left in them. So I let this cook for about an hour, and then after it's starting to get tender and the onions are soft, then I add my carrots, and I let them cook for about another hour. And then at the very end, I will add my cabbage. And what we're going to use today is a really great cabbage here, green cabbage. This is a great winter and spring vegetable, nice and fresh, and we'll put that in towards the end so it maintains some of its, structure and crispiness, and it doesn't turn into a pile of mush. So this way you'll have a couple different textures going on with your corned beef. You'll have the nice soft onions, the carrots that are soft but aren't falling apart, and then the cabbage, which will retain a little bit of that crispiness, I think. And so we'll put that in later. So after this goes for a little bit, then we'll put in our carrots, and then we'll add our cabbage at the end.
Amy, this looks delicious.
Well, thank you. It's such an easy dinner to make that you don't have to save it just for St. Patrick's Day. You could make it any day of the week.
And I see a fantastic side dish.
This is one of my favorites. This is called Champ, and this is mashed potatoes with green onions in it, and it's a classic Irish side dish, and I love fluffy, creamy, buttery mashed potatoes. So give it a try and tell me what you think of it. All the boiled dinner, and I'm going to have a little bit of course beer with it because you have to have a little beer on St. Patrick's Day, right?
It's a great time for a little celebration.
A little celebration.
Beer and corned beef sláinte.
Well,
That's delicious.
can you taste a little bit of the beer in it? A tiny bit? Good. That's great. Well, this is one of my favorite beers, Arcadia Ales, and I know that they're going to be out on Saturday at the Nap Corner doing a special tasting of some of their spectacular Michigan beers if you want to go check out Mr. Tim's Surprise and his great Arcadia beers.
Sounds like a winner. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Oh, man, I'm starving.
Beer taste in that?
You know,
How cool.
What I was thinking, it looks pretty simple to do, but it seems like this elaborate, authentic meal, but really very simple, just the basics.
Very hearty. And you could probably use that meat in other ways too.
Oh, yeah.
Sandwiches.
Absolutely. Sounds delicious.
You know, the other way that you can do this dish is by putting it all in the crock pot.
Good idea.
I'm a big fan of that, and cooking that meat slowly all day long, adding the veggies in stages like Amy did, ending with the cabbage.
Oh, yeah, I love cabbage. We'll have Amy's recipes for corned beef and cabbage. And, of course, that great-looking potato dish called Champ on our website this afternoon. And here's a great deal for washing it all down.
I like this. On Saturday at the D&W Fresh Market, located at Knapp and the East Beltline only, all import and domestic 6-packs of beer will be 20% off.
Wow, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. Plus, anyone 21 or older can play the one-arm bandit game to win those D&W beer glasses, gift cards, and some other prizes as well.
And check out the Spartan Culinary Classroom schedule. It is online to get into Amy's next class. They have so many interesting classes. We just talked about the profile, the frozen food one they have of making meals simple and fresh and great, healthy for your family. Mexican, Indian, grilling, they do it all.
Absolutely. And Amy is a fantastic teacher and a fantastic instructor and a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, lots coming up. Don't go away because we'll be right back.
I wish I could wear green.
Your all-access pass to everything West Michigan.